Hello there and welcome. So it's the Stamp Around UK vlog hop, and the theme this month is anything but flowers. I know, shocker. I'm going to do something without flowers. So I have got in front of me the Brave Vikings stamp set, which is this one here. And would you believe, I've just spent the last few minutes colouring in this boat, this lovely boat, which I fussy cut out, and now I've lost it. It's somewhere on my desk, somewhere in my room, I do not know where. So I don't know whether it attached itself to my jumper and I've walked off, and anyway, it's not here. However, I have cut out these two images, which I will colour in a second, and also I have got these gorgeous transparencies. You get a pack of 60 pieces of vellum, and some of them have patterns on. So I'm going to show you what these look like. You've got one with this sort of like hill design, which I'm thinking of pairing with, oh no, I was going to put that with the blue, and I was going to put the boat on this one, but as I said, it's just disappeared into thin air. Then there's this lovely one with leafy imagery, so no flowers there technically. I hope that fits, that one. Then this one with some sort of little grey black dots in the corners, like so. And so I've just placed them on a piece of coloured cardstock so you can see that a bit better. And then this one here, which I might use for this one. I've also taken a piece of the plain vellum and run it through the Hive 3D embossing folder just to see what would happen. And yeah, might use that too. I've also cut out some pieces from the, oh, I forgot the name of it. I will come back to you with the name. It's a little die set that has some various different shapes. So I've cut those out with white cardstock, and then also some copper pieces. So I'm thinking of doing a bit of a combination of imagery, shapes and textures, just see what happens really. So let's have a think. I was thinking, should we do this lady on here, maybe with sort of standing on something? I thought that might be quite fun, and then also decorate it with some sort of coppery elements. Not quite sure how it's going to turn out, but that's what I'm thinking. Right, let's colour her in. So I imagine her with a really lovely shock of auburn hair. So I'm going for, this is light Cajun Craze. So let's zoom in a little bit so that you can see what's happening here. So this is light Cajun Craze going on. Actually, now I've done the outline, it's probably easier if I go in with the, I was going to say go in with a thicker tip, but the only thing about going in with a thicker tip, sometimes you don't have as much control. So anyway, just get that all coloured in. Oh, my hands are a little bit cold today. The weather has just turned a little bit cooler. So what did I say that was? Cajun Craze. Okay, so let's go for a bit of dark Cajun Craze. Oh, hello. Sometimes that happens. The pens pop apart in the wrong place. So I'm just going to put a little bit of shading just under her hat there. And then also some shading coming up like that. So the portions of hair that are closest to us will have that little bit of a lighter kind of streak in it. So I'm going to blend that in like so across there. Now what else could we do in Cajun Craze? I want to echo different aspects, so maybe some, you could have a dark pouch there. Ooh, come on, up you come, up to there. And maybe some darker shoes, like so. And ooh, should we go for a bit of Bermuda Bay, maybe? with her outfit. I don't know if this is historically accurate, but just like the idea of that contrast with her hair. I'm just going to add a bit of that in there. I suppose sometimes we think of hair colour as just not being very important to something that we're doing, but just like hair colour on people can impact, well, can be more impactful depending on what colour clothes they wear. So it's the same with little characters like this that you may colour in. You know, just think what would make them stand out a bit more if they had a certain colour hair. So by colouring over and over in certain areas with the blends, it does make certain areas a bit darker. So I'm just going to make that underarm area a bit darker, because that would be the light shining down would make that lighter on the top. And I think I might just do her little undergarment here. I presume this would just be some little undergarments. Pop that in a dark Bermuda bay, like so. And oh, should we do the top of her hat? Same kind of colour. Oh, I've accidentally gone into her, what I think was probably a metal section a little bit, but I'm going to show you how to fix that in a second. So here's Daffodil Delight. So I want this to be metallic looking, so I'm going to colour that in, and where I've accidentally come into that area, I'm actually just going to very gently try and push some of that colour back, so it's not so obvious that I made that mistake. And then I think I'll give her a nice golden spear. I don't think they had golden spears then, but we'll give her that. And then maybe a little bit of crumb cake to highlight the rivets on her hairband, like so. And I'm wondering if we use a little bit of Cajun Craze for her skin. So is this Cajun? No, this is crumb cake. So I'm going in initially with dark crumb cake, but I may just do some of her main face area in the light. And that's ivory. Where's my crumb cake gone? Yes, light crumb cake. Okay, let's do the rest of her face in this to start off with. Blend in those darker areas a bit more. And then make her mouth a little bit darker, like so. And then maybe around her eye sockets, make those a little bit darker too. And again, blend that colour in a bit. And then also just lighten some areas on her hand. Okay, then should give her a slightly darker spear. No, I'm putting these lids on wrong, but anyway. Oh, there it is, bronze. Shall we go for a bronze so that she has a good stick colour? So these alcohol pens that I'm using are really great for building up colour, because you can colour over and over and over the same section and it won't damage the paper. Okay, so here I've made a bit of a boo-boo. I've coloured outside the line, so I'm using what's called the colour lifter just to push some of that colour back down into the paper so that my boo-boo doesn't become so noticeable. Right, there we go. There's my little person, my little Viking person there. And as I said, I wanted her to sort of stand on. Now I know they didn't have skateboards in those days, but it does look a little bit like a skateboard, this image that I have here. So I don't know whether to go for a slightly smaller one, so it gives her something to sort of stand on. And I wonder whether to colour that with a bit of Parakeet Party, because that's the green that I've used on the cardstock behind, just to give her a little bit more, something interesting, because we haven't really used white anywhere else on this card apart from the outline there, which I am considering colouring that in a little grey. Or even the parakeet. I'll put a little bit of that around it. I know what, let me get a blender pen rather, as opposed to the Stampin' blends. Just squish some colour into there. Actually, I might just disguise that white cardstock by putting a very pale layer around the edge. Because when I cut out images like this, I always leave a tiny wee border. It makes things look a bit neater. And also, if you try and cut something out exactly on the black line, if you make a mistake, it's really obvious, because you end up losing that black line. Whereas if you cut out around the line, it's not so obvious if you make a mistake. So just got this little section to go. So if you've not visited my channel before and you like what you see, please do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And also in the description will be the links to all the other hoppers of this blog hop. So there's my wee little lady. There we go, she's skating on that green section now. And then I think I'd like some sort of design, maybe going up, just a repetitive kind of design, just to make it look a bit more interesting. Like so. Right, I'm going to stick that all together. I'll just draw out a little bit. I'm going to stick that all together and then come back to you. So here's the finished card. I've put all those diamonds in a row there. Okay, so let's move on to something a little bit different. I've got this panel here against the Orchid Oasis, and I really like the idea of maybe placing that in the middle so that you've got that circular focal point. And now what to do with this gentleman? See, I quite like him uncoloured actually. I don't feel that I necessarily need to colour him, although wouldn't it be fun maybe just to do a small aspect of him, like, I don't know, his gorgeous moustache and his eyebrows. Shall we do that? See what happens. Now obviously his beard would also be a similar colour, but wouldn't that be fun just to do, what's this one? Light, okay. Just putting a little brush of that, and I'm thinking of getting some pumpkin pie. Make him super orange. Oh my goodness, I'm having a day of this. My blend's not opening properly. Excuse me. Okay, let's get a bit of pumpkin on there. So this is a fun way to just to highlight a feature. Don't colour everything in, just colour in a small aspect. Hee, I like him. I'm thinking he does need all his beard colouring, so I think I'll do that. That tend to do it a bit lighter. Okay, so let's get him coloured there. Then go in with, oh my goodness, sorry about this. Get that there. Make sure I only do his beard. Look at these amazing tassels. I mean, what cooler way to have a beard than with tassels, eh? Okay, so that's pumpkin pie, which is this gorgeous warm orange. And I'm going to come in here with light Cajun Craze just to do some of the shadow, where the shadows would be. Colour that little bit in there. Yeah, that's fun. I like that. So if we have him on there, so I'm thinking, what about a bit of colour? So using some of that Orchid Oasis and popping some colour onto the back of there. So I've got my brush here, And I kind of want it darker at the edges and then going lighter and lighter further into the circle we go. So just doing small circular motions just to very gently bring in that colour from the edges. As I said, I want it light in the middle and then darker on the edges. So it's worth taking your time with something like this. Don't rush it. There we go, he stands out a little bit more now. And then I've also cut out the sentiment here. I've taken a Viking to you, and I thought that would be fun. Oh, let's put a little bit of colour just around the edge of that. Just the tiniest amount there. Oh, a little bit more than I intended, but never mind. I'll just go around some of the edges to darken those up. Okay, it's kind of giving it a bit more of a grungier look, but anyway, that's okay. So I wanted to play with some of these hexagons. Just have these in the background to add an interesting element. Maybe have it underneath the circle. And I love the contrast of this copper against the blue. Right, do I have another one? Oh, I do. Okay. Okay, so once again, I'm just going to go and stick these all down. So I wanted to show you that with vellum, when you're sticking it down, if you don't want the glue to show up, try and put the glue in areas that are going to get covered up by other sections. So that's what I've done here. So there you have it, my 2 cards without any flowers on. I think I'm safe to say. I know that one's got foliage and leaves, but that's definitely not flowers. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and do go and check out the other hoppers in this Stamp Around UK vlog hop. And lovely to have your company. So just to go over the colours, this is Parakeet Party and this one is Orchid Oasis, and I use that lovely set of Botanical Layers vellum sheets, and I will put a link, I'll put in the description a list of all the products that I've used, included the dyes and so forth, and also the colours that I use to colour in my images as well. So now I think my Viking's starting to look a little bit pale now, but anyway, I still also like the idea of just his beard showing. I think that's really fun. So take care for now and see you soon.